And everybody poops.
Everybody poops.
All right, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Powerbomb Nation's Culture Cast. This is our first live episode, so that is pretty exciting. We are coming across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So 3 various platforms for you to hear me and the man next to me talk. Of course, my name's Dwight Couch. Today we have a super-sized, shell-shocking episode. But before we get to that, with me as always, the Shredder to my Krang, the Leonardo to my Raphael, the Ray Fillet to my Panda Con.
Oh, he deep cuts.
And only Jason Shepard. Jason, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm glad that I was the Shredder to your Krang.
Oh, I love Krang.
Because he's just so much cooler, Shredder. So. Not that you're not as cool as me. I just mean, like, I would rather be Shredder if that was the pick.
Well, see, no, that works out perfect because I would much rather be Krang.
Really? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that did
I was
work
going
out.
to go with the obvious Bebop to Rocksteady.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
well,
I figured I would break out the Panda Con and the Ray Fillet.
Deep cut.
Just because it was out of left field.
That was good. Good reference.
Ray Fillet. What?
I've got Ray Fillet. I got the toy right here.
Oh,
I'm
do you really?
looking at Ray Fillet.
Oh,
so.
You got Panda Con too?
I don't have Panda Con. No.
Oh, that's awesome. Ray Fillet was one of the more interesting toys I think I had growing up. So
he's pretty cool. Do you remember the Archie Comics Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures? He was always in that. He was in that, like, they were called like the Mighty Mutanimals or something.
Yeah, didn't he like wear a sweater vest?
Ray Fillet?
Yeah, did he, like in the Archie comic? I want to say that I've seen him.
I feel like he has a sweater on or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
And very very corny looking, because the way it's almost like the Rock in a turtleneck.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
so before we get into any more Ninja Turtle talk, that's funny. Ninja Turtle turtleneck, the Rock.
Oh goodness,
that's all good ties in. I didn't even plan that.
You are on fire.
So what are you sipping on tonight?
Well, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you, but it's let's just say I'm boozing on a budget tonight.
Okay, yeah. Well, new year, new budget.
New year, no budget. I'm drinking a good old Bush latte tonight. So, yeah.
So
really.
not bad. That is Bush is fantastic for the NASCAR crowd.
The NASCAR crowd loves the Bush, man.
Absolutely. So
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh shit! It's beer. It serves its purpose.
That's all it does.
It's in a can and a bottle.
That's all it does.
So I got something a little special today. I always bring it up, the unique drink or something up into the Culture Cast when we're on.
No turmeric beer.
No turmeric beer. No turmeric lattes tonight. But I do have
turmeric
something.
latte. Yeah.
So Jason, you would consider yourself an artist with your hands. You make these amazingly beautiful drawings that trigger all kinds of cool memories, and that's what you do. And I would consider myself an artist with my tongue and the lingual persuasion.
Ladies, y'all hear that?
Hey, no, happily.
He's married. He's married.
And
he's married.
But golden tongue with a car salesman. And painting a picture with words. But we're also from Frankfurt. And anytime that someone in Frankfurt can do good for themselves and start their own brand, I like to bring attention to it.
Yeah.
So this, and now, Missy, if you're watching, make sure that you put the link to your Facebook and all that in the comments below. I'll do the same and get you a little promotion here. But this is Missy's Natural Pineapple Ginger Tea.
No kidding.
She
out of
makes
Frankfurt, huh?
Here in Frankfurt. She does this, and it's sea moss gel. It's Missy's Sea Moss Gel, if you look them up on Facebook. And she's got all kinds of really good juice shots and teas and some really interesting sea moss products But it's all natural. It's going to help you make you healthy. There's a shit ton of health benefits to this. You can Google all this stuff. But I told her that I would taste one of these online. She was nice enough to freshly brew this for us.
Cool.
And we went over there before the cast here and got some. So cracked it open.
No,
this smell the ginger.
So this is a first time reaction.
It is. She wanted me to taste it. I was like, no, I'm going to take it and do it on the culture cast. So you can smell the pineapple pretty strong. Smell the ginger really good. Pineapple and ginger are two of my favorite things.
You can't go wrong with them. And he's dead.
That is good.
Yeah.
So it tastes a lot like a green tea that you would get from the store, but you definitely get the strong ginger to it, but the pineapple is what makes it fantastic. So make sure you check out Missy's Sea Moss Gel and under Facebook, and support somebody local. You never know. Everybody's trying to do something special. So support those that are local, pay a little more. And maybe in this case, I'm paying less. I'm paying less for her freshly made juice than the stuff that I get at Kroger's by a significant amount. So check that out. Support people local. Support your local artists, your local artisans, and help out your community. Be involved.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
2023. Be involved.
Right.
That's our motto.
Come on.
All right. So all the plugs out of the way. Let's talk about the mid-'80s. The mid-'80s had a really cool thing, and that actually had 4 really cool things.
That's
took the world by
cool
storm.
things.
Took the sewer by storm. Took New York City by storm.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you my daughter's middle name is Brooklyn?
You did not.
Do you know why I chose Brooklyn?
Probably because you like the Ninja Turtles.
That is one of the reasons. I also like Ghostbusters and Super Mario.
True.
And Brooklyn's a hell of a wrestling city.
Okay.
So those 5 things are all in Brooklyn, and that's why I wanted the name Brooklyn for my daughter, because these things are that important in my life. And those things being Ninja Turtles, and it's one of the reasons me and Jason Shepard, this man right here, are on this podcast talking to each other, because we grew up and that was one of our bonds.
It was.
And I remember you gave me some pointers on how to draw said Ninja Turtles.
Sorry, I've got those, those little beer burps that might creep in. Like maybe you can't hear them, but I think maybe you can.
Oh, I couldn't hear them.
Y'all probably. Oh, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I thought.
Well, I want to apologize to everybody
for. I taught you how to draw something. I've seen your drawing. Knock it off.
Okay. Continue.
But yes, the classic Ninja Turtle face. I think you gave me a few pointers and showed me how to draw that. It was one of the few things that I could draw fairly well.
Oh.
And
so I was a good teacher.
Yeah, you weren't bad.
Perfect.
You weren't bad. Good teacher, good friend. Yeah, he's an all right guy, folks.
Oh, all right.
So Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo. It's the only reason I was ever interested in the Renaissance period of artwork was because I was like, oh yeah, those guys are named, the Ninja Turtles are named after them. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, same. And this is coming from an artist.
Experience with Ninja Turtles.
My earliest? Honestly, it started like most kids, I think from the 80s, with the cartoon and the toys. There was a comic book that was created in 83 and hit the market in 84, and I knew nothing about it because I was 4 at the time, right? So, you didn't really hear too much about it until it started getting mass marketed and popular in, I don't know what came first. Was it the toys or was it the cartoon?
I think it was the cartoon.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with, because that's how I got into it, was the cartoon. It's that theme song that's 100 people's ringtones.
Yeah.
It's the theme song that gets stuck in your head. We talked about, various cartoons and theme songs. this, I mean, this is like upper echelon of the, mid 80s to early 90s. And then still today, there's so many variations of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Just pure pop culture
Oh yeah.
pleasantness.
And here in a little bit, I want to talk about how it started and what it did. Like how it started, how it's going. Like it's a major, it's huge. Like it's a cool story, and I don't know.
Before we get to that, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I don't know because I like them all for their unique little personality traits.
On the
I
playground,
really do.
you can't
But
play as all four.
play is all four is in video games.
No, you can play as all four in video games.
Well, I'm asking. I thought you meant like who are you picking in the video
No,
games?
we're
I
on
could have
we're on
told
the
you
playground. We're on the playground out at Peaks Mill.
that. Okay, I'm Raphael. I'm Raphael
Okay.
for sure.
Shit.
Yeah,
So
I always
between us, whoever gets to pick first. The other one's disappointed.
yeah, yeah. Raph was my dude as a kid.
All right, so
So
I'm in a total agreement there. Raphael was the man. He let out the first cuss word in the movie too, so that gave him that.
damn. Yeah,
But always like the smart ass of the group. I think second, I think I'd have to go with Donatello.
same.
Leonardo third,
Yeah.
and then Michelangelo last. Okay,
Mikey
yeah,
said
so
they're all cool. They're fine, but like that's my order. Yeah.
everybody liked Michelangelo. So
Yeah,
at
they
that
did.
point, it's like, oh, he's got nunchucks. So he was always my least favorite because I like to go against the grain. Non-turtle.
The Shredder. I just think the Shredder is so badass, dude. The Shredder is a cool character.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's kind of why I like the Rhino. I had this thing about
It's true.
rhinos.
Yeah,
So. And Seamus played him in a movie,
he did.
and that was really cool. That's the only reason I think I love that movie is because.
I never watched it. I never watched that second one with the Michael Bay one. No, I never. We'll get to that in a little while.
So, video games. Ninja Turtles were all over some of the most classic video games in history. Have you beaten the first Ninja Turtles game?
You know what? Here's fun. Here's the. I had mentioned this about Friday the 13th before, that there is the stigma with it. That's like in popular culture, it's impossible. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. I can't. Most people complain about that little underwater level, right? You get off the dam and you go into the water to disarm the bombs, and everybody just swears up and down it was the hardest level in Nintendo history, right? Like, dude, I have beaten the first Ninja Turtles a good handful of times. I would say like five times, 6 times. Oddly enough, I think it's easier than Turtles 2, the arcade game.
Oh, really?
Turtles 2, the arcade game gives me shit every single time I play it. Because Krang at the end is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It takes like 5,000 hits to kill him. But then also that samurai at the end of like level 7 in the dojo. You know what I'm talking about? With the flying head. He gives me so much shit. Turtles 1, no sweat. Turtles 3, no sweat. Yeah. No, yeah, I can beat Turtles 1. And if you want, I can give you a picture of it when I you know how I've documented every time I beat a game, I'll like take a selfie with the end screen. I've got one. So also went on Facebook Live a couple of years back, probably 4 years ago, and was like at the end, and I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna go live and finish this out. And I like put it on Facebook Live and was like playing it. But yeah, so
that's so you mentioned the moss, the electrifying eel or moss or whatever the hell it was. Pain in my ass. I had the hardest time with that.
Oh yeah, it's not too man.
Water levels always. I had a thing with water levels, back in the 80s, anyways. But The electric moss that is in that level, did you know that that appears on one of the Ninja Turtle toys?
I did not.
Yes. So I'd seen a old gem on Facebook, and it was when the Ninja Turtles were introduced with their little tubes, and they had these water toys that you could actually take into a pool or in the bathtub, and they would move around, and they had weapons and stuff. So the turtles each had one.
Was it like their legs like did a little kicking action or something? And they would.
But they did have those too. Like I think.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I remember like swimming turtles.
Yes, I think that's what I'm.
Shredder's vehicle was a shred mobile, or whatever cheesy they called it.
Are you talking
stood up on it like a jet ski, and the front had this claw, kind of like the front of the Millennium Falcon, how it comes out.
Yep.
And in that space, you have electrified kelp or seaweed going in there, or eels or something, and it shows Rocksteady on it, and he comes up, and the turtle's floating, and he's coming, and he's going to grab him around the neck and electrocute him.
Well, now wait a minute. I have a vehicle similar to that. The Rat King. I have the Rat King sitting on it. It's like a floating. It's like made for the water.
Yeah, it says I heart with the thing through it. Turtles on the side.
I can't tell because the stickers are probably missing from it. But like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green electric eels in the front.
Yeah.
I've got it. Yeah. That's the Rat King's vehicle, actually. He uses that because in Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo, when you fight the Rat King, that's what he's riding.
Interesting. On the commercial, they advertised it for Shredder.
Oh, yeah. Anybody could use it, but that's pretty cool.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So got a big shout out there from Missy Seamoss Gels.
Missy,
thank you for the shout.
So she's watching us live right now.
Yeah.
Hi, Missy. I would like to try the drink as well, but I will pay for it. Much unlike Dwight.
No, I pay for it. I'm not
kidding.
cheap.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I would like to try it. So.
All right, so we appreciate the shout out there. One of the nice benefits going live, you can interact with the show. If you're watching it later, a few days from now, you're going to get entertained. But join us live one time and get thoroughly entertained and interact with us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do while we're here. Could I link the Facebook over on my Facebook and tell people that we're live right now and just be like, hey,
yeah, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Well, why don't you just hold tight there? No, you go ahead and I'll get that going.
All right. So one of the other great things about Ninja Turtles, besides the massive marketing ploy, all the various little items that we got. Do you remember the fruit pies? But they weren't fruit pies.
Don't even talk to me about the fruit pies. Yeah. Let's talk about it. I love them. Every Walmart trip was, I was like, okay, I understand what we're going here for, but I would like to A, spend some allowance money, and B, at least pick up 2 or 3 of those pies. Because they were like they were like the Hostess banana cream pies, right? But the banana pudding inside was like Gribbs dyed green.
Yes, it was,
which
like ooze,
set it off. It set it set that shit off, man. I know it was food coloring, but
the best part, I love the Hostess pies, anyways. The crust on them and everything.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the best part of those things.
Yeah.
That, and then of course you had mutant Jello. So you had red, green Jello with Ninja Turtle faces all over it. Ninja Turtle.
I don't remember that.
Was fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I'm like getting us. I'm like, doing some promo here. Live.
Oh
promo.
Yeah, no, go for it. No, that's what it's all about. So, top Ninja Turtle toys. Obviously, you had the Ninja Turtles, and they had a ton of variants to them. I think it was Raphael was in a spacesuit, and that wound up being one of my favorite.
I do love that one a lot. I do love that one. I do have that one up there. I also really loved the Shogun Leonardo.
Yes, that was going to be the other one I was going to mention.
Super cool.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
PandaCon was, of the same era. The PandaCon was really cool too.
Yeah, I never had them. It was. I feel like I never really ran into them when I was like out and about shopping, or maybe I did, and I just didn't. The thing about Ninja Turtles toys was that they as the line went on, it got so zany and so off the wall. And
oh, you mean like Mondo Gecko?
No, I like Mondo Gecko a lot. I've got him on his skateboard. He was so cool. Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm talking like the basketball playing giraffe, or like the the Outback Safari wallaby or something weird. I don't know what I'm talking. Kangaroo. He was a kangaroo. Yeah. And it was like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Pizza face.
But he was kind of cool. I mean,
I liked it. He had a cool weapon. I liked the little cleaver. He had the cleaver that he ran around with.
No, they were cool toys, but I mean, like, and they were cool, wacky concepts. But God, it just started going off the rails. It was like.
So, are you more of a Ninja Turtle hero guy or a villain guy? Are you drawn to any particular side over the other?
No, I guess I'm kind of neutral on it. I'm going back to I love the Shredder so much. I just think the Shredder, and I think part of the reason I love the Shredder so much is the way he was portrayed in the 1990 movie. You know what I mean? Like, he was such a badass in that movie. Like, in the cartoon, like, he was a whiny goofball, but like Shredder in the comics, Shredder in the movie, like, that was depicted so well. I know we're going to get into the movie, so I'm going to save all this for later. But like, the Shredder's my
question on the Shredder. How old were you when you found out that Uncle Phil was the Shredder?
I knew pretty early on. Like, I didn't know, I don't think right off the bat, but I knew. Well, I might have been in like my teenage years, but that's still relatively early in comparison to people finding out now that are like in their 40s. So.
Right. Shit, I didn't know till my late 30s.
Really?
I had no idea. Once I found out, that I'm like, oh yeah, you can totally hear it.
Yeah.
Totally hear it. Who outside of the Shredder, who is one of your favorite side villains?
Dude, Baxter Stockman. Baxter's cool, man. And I love that. And I love that he was like pretty much like an inspiration, like, or he was influenced by like the Jeff Goldblum, The Fly movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So cool. Like, yeah, Baxter was cool. Rat King was cool.
Rat King.
Metalhead. Was Metalhead like considered good or bad? Was he like a, you know what I'm saying?
That was the mechanical turtle, right?
Yeah, he was like the robot turtle. I know that later on in comics, like the turtles ended up either getting him and like programming him to be like, on their side or whatever. But I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he was just caught on the wrong side and taught wrong.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's not,
because I know you had to fight. Well, you had to fight him. You had to fight him in like the game, like the video game. So I know that he was bad, at least, I guess. So.
But I want to say, I remember the cartoons where he wound up being on their side.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Leatherhead.
Leatherhead's cool.
It is kind of an obscure reference, and he was a really good character. That made a lot of sense, I thought.
Triceraton was cool.
Yes. That whole race was really cool. That was a cool arc.
Yeah. Slash was cool.
Yeah. Oh man, the toy was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The toy was freaking sweet because it was like, oh, that's like a dark Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
It's like a Sith. It's a Sith Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Dimension X Krang and his rock soldiers like General Trag?
Pretty cool. I like them. Like I generally like just about everything there is to do with those main characters and those side those like secondary characters. I like all that stuff, man.
I think Krang is like the next evolution of humans. me and a buddy at work were talking the other day, and we were talking about, you know, getting sent to Mars and cyborg technology, and you know, you could have your arm replaced now, and it's not a big deal. So fairly soon, you're going to be living in a complete body. And we mentioned how Elon Musk would probably be like running Mars, and you know, he'll be like the king of Mars. And I brought up, I was like, you know what would be hilarious? Elon Musk has his head in a jar, but it's not a jar. He builds like Krang. And so it's like, you know, Elon Musk said where Krang would be in that giant suit with a Tesla emblem on the, it's going to be on this screen now. If you're watching later on, I photoshopped Elon Musk's head in Krang's body with the Tesla logo across the chest. And it made a lot of sense.
You just gave me like a new art piece idea.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's a great idea.
You know,
sell a shit ton of those.
I don't think much of Elon Musk. Like, I don't care about him either way, one way or another. He's just some guy I'm tired of hearing about in the fucking news all the time. But I mean, like, I can totally see him building a Krang body to put this decapitated head on. Yeah, so. Can't not mention one of the most badass characters, Casey Jones. Casey's just this
badass,
wild lunatic vigilante of New York City. So cool.
Good portrayal in the movies.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
I think all the people that played it was good.
Elias Koteas was awesome in 1 and 3. So, but yeah.
So a lot of the stuff is going to be coming out in the history of the Ninja Turtles, Jason. So I want to talk about some movies. We got an upcoming movie coming up. You informed me that the logo is actually out for it. This is the Seth Rogen project, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Just going to run down the cast really quick, and then we'll get into the history of the Ninja Turtles. So obviously, Seth Rogen project. Tom Holland is going to be Raphael. Fantastic. Great. I'm cool with that. I like Tom Holland. Daniel O'Brien as Leonardo. James Marsden is going to be Splinter. Shamon Brown Jr. is Untitled. Igby Rigney is Donatello. And Cody Christian is Michelangelo.
Okay.
And Ryan Potter is going to be playing Casey Jones.
Okay.
And then April O'Neil is going to be played by Sienna Agudong, and I don't know who that is. But not a bad cast, so I'm pretty excited for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film. But in order to get where we're going with the franchise, you always got to know where you started. So put us in the Wayback Machine, Mr. Peabody, and let's visit the mid-'80s.
Okay, well, Ninja Turtles, believe it or not, started as far back as 1983. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were comic artists and writers, and they were rooming together. I believe, I don't know. I know that Kevin Eastman lives in Pennsylvania, I believe now. I'm not sure where they were living at the time. It could have very well been New York. And I believe I had read that Kevin Eastman was working in a pizza parlor of all places at the time, but aspiring comic artist and writer. And they were kind of sitting up one night after work and hanging out late and watching TV and doodling and drawing. And they had this, I don't know, one of them asked the other, this is all going to be very loose, and there's no way that we can cover every little aspect of the history of this. So I'm totally spitballing right now. One of them asked the other, like, wouldn't it be funny if we drew animals that knew like kung fu and ninjutsu? And oh yeah, but like, what would be the funniest animal to draw and portray that would know martial arts, right? And so I think Peter Laird was like, what about a turtle? And so Kevin Eastman starts drawing this turtle. I think Peter Laird goes to bed, wakes up the next morning, comes in the living room and finds Kevin Eastman's art of this turtle. And if you Google, or maybe in the editing process, you could put this up on the screen. the original drawing of like the concept of like a Ninja Turtle, which was a very real looking tortoise on its legs, standing up with like nunchucks attached to like its armbands and things, and they just thought it was so funny. And I guess the concept grew, and it was like, well, what if we made other ones that had different weapons and everything? Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, that's probably some of the early concept art, but there is one in particular. Yeah, you just had it up. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, same article.
Oh, it's the same. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So, but yeah, so the thing about him is they decided to create this whole backstory, this whole concept and of what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were, who they were, where they were from, what they did. And Kevin Eastman was a big fan of the Daredevil comic. So his whole concept was to sort of make the Ninja Turtles story a almost parody of the Daredevil story. So the thing is, there was a canister, I guess, that fell off of a truck, bounced up and hit Matt Murdock in the eyes and made him blind, right? That's how Daredevil became blind. And I guess in Kevin's mind, that's the same canister that fell and rolled off and down into the sewers, broke open and mutated the turtles when they were down in the sewers. Also, I think there's an organization in the Daredevil comics called The Hand. Kevin came up with the foot. I think there was maybe Daredevil's maybe mentor or somebody in the comic named Stick. Kevin Eastman comes up with Splinter. So, yeah, but they did this, and they wrote and drew this comic, and they did one issue, and they used, and this is what I'm going to get into this in a sec. Very independently done. Black and white comic with like splotches of red blood in it. That's the only color that you got in it, was like the blood splashes. Very adult oriented. The original Ninja Turtles comics were not for kids. They were absolutely like for adult readers. And if I recall, I have read that comic. I believe the Shredder is killed at the end of the very first issue. And they finished this comic book, and independently they used tax return money and a family loan and made, I think, just several thousand copies of it. Independently published it, marketed it out, got it out, and it kind of took the world by storm. Like, it got hugely popular. And from that one little funny idea, just hanging out in an apartment after work one night and doodling, like, built an empire for themselves, which I think is so cool. I just think that the whole do-it-yourself method to that was awesome. And I know that like the industry's changed, and I know things have changed, and it's probably not the same now. That you probably couldn't do that now. I don't know. Maybe you could, but just a cool backstory to that whole thing, man. Like, and then of course they went on and they did. Maybe less than a year later, they did issue 2, and then they kept going and going and going, and it's still running today. And Kevin Eastman is still illustrating it with the help of other artists. There's so many other artists on board, but yeah, man, Kevin Eastman's he's one of my favorite artists. He's one of my biggest influences as an illustrator. So yeah, that whole do-it-yourself approach was awesome.
Fantastic. Goes back again, support local. Support your local guy.
Exactly, because you don't know what they're going to do, right? Like that's a prime example of garage. Yeah.
So one of the things I always thought was interesting, because I was never familiar with Ninja Turtles up until the cartoons. So to me, I never knew that they were all an underread the red bandanas or red masks in the beginning. And obviously they, you sell more if they're going to have different masks on. You're obviously going to be able to sell more that way.
Yeah.
Broader appeal. So I'm sure that's why they went in that direction. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, one of them, did Leonardo not wear the mask, but didn't he have the full?
I believe that was Raphael at one point. I'm not real sure. I know I've seen pictures of that, but yeah.
And that is kind of interesting that they throw a little bit of homage in the newer stuff, because the Ninja Turtles, when we grew up, they all uniformed, but now I think Leonardo, but I've seen Donatello in one of the reiterations where he's got his head covered with the top mask on. So it's nice to see little nods like that, throwing back to the OGs.
Yeah. No, I've not really checked out any of the new. I know that I think it was like a 2003 series that came out, I think on Nickelodeon maybe. That was a good cartoon. It was pretty good. And that was more true. And here's the thing, like, as a kid, yeah, I mean, we were obsessed with Ninja Turtles, so we were obviously obsessed with the cartoon. But going back and watching that cartoon is kind of hard to watch. It's got the nostalgia factor to it, but God, it is hard. It's a hard watch, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing screamed 80s more than the Ninja Turtles. I mean, the language, the albums,
oh yeah,
the whole 9 yards. It had a lot of very hideous stylistic approaches to some of the things.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you this, because we are live, things are going to happen that we don't have any control of because we can't edit them out right now.
Right.
And I have to urinate so bad that I wondered if you wouldn't mind just waiting on me for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
People are watching, just talk to them. Go ahead and talk to them. I'll be back.
No, absolutely. That's what we can do right now. So while we wait on Jason to come back, let's check out his closet. Now that we can get a good view into Jason Shepard's closet, ladies and gentlemen, we have some Star Wars action figures going on in the background. We have a Nintendo system up at the top. A ton of VHSs as well. Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle? Comment below. What was your favorite character? What was your favorite Ninja Turtle toy growing up? I always wanted the Technodrome. I thought the Technodrome would have been a really, really cool item to have had, because I was really obsessed with Krang and the Dimension X group that came out of Ninja Turtles. And I thought the Technodrome would have been really cool. I never had it, but I would love to find one now. That would be on my bucket list. I got an original Millennium Falcon. I need an original Technodrome, I think, to put up on the shelf behind me. They also should do some Ninja Turtle subscription boxes. I've not seen a Ninja Turtle subscription
how quick was that? That was so quick.
Oh, that's not bad. I had enough time to talk about the Technodrome, and we went through your closet.
Oh, yeah.
And pointed out some of the cool stuff in there. And did you have the Technodrome toy?
Never did.
Nah, no. I didn't either. I never really thought about that, but that's one that I would like to. I got an original Millennium Falcon up here.
It's like so expensive if you find it anywhere. You hang it up. I mean, you're looking like $150, which I spent that on the Ghostbusters Firehouse. So I mean, that's when we were getting the Trump money coming in, though. And I was like, you know what? Like, I got a cool 3,000 these past 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and just get that. Yeah, whatever. Things are different now, so
yeah. No, inflation, man. You can't a $5 meal at McDonald's costs you $8.50 now.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy. But,
so, what'd you have next on the history of the Ninja Turtle docket?
Well, we were talking, the comics. So obviously, 1987 was our next big step, and we got the cartoon, the one that's a hard watch now. You know what I mean? Like, but God, did it ever cement our love for Ninja Turtles? You know what I mean? Like, we went to school. We went to Peaks Mill on the playground during recess, and we played Ninja Turtles on the playground, right? Like, we talked about it. Like, we probably gotten yelled at by teachers so many times for, like, talking about it in the back of the classroom. Well, you know, I mean, it was just, if there ever was, like, a pop culture phenomenon, Turtles were it. I mean, like, it was huge. And, yeah, it, like, rocked all of our little worlds, man.
And I will say, that is still, to this day, that is still my preferred look for a Ninja Turtle, is the cartoon. And which I am hoping, I did hear something about Seth Rogen's project saying that he liked the traditional look of the traditional cartoon. So I'm hoping maybe we get a little more of that.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the way they looked in the movies. You know, the cartoon, yeah, or the, okay. yeah. I don't want to say movies, because, but yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sure we'll get to that. But yeah, that first movie, yeah, we're going to get to that. So the cartoon came out in 87, and it was either the same year or the next year that the toy line dropped by Playmates. And Playmates came through with the heat. And I remember, obviously, being obsessed with Ninja Turtles. I had to have the toys, right? So if I recall, Raphael was the first one I bought. It was allowance week or whatever. I had some money, parents took me to Walmart. I bought Raphael. And then I think my next one was Donatello. But then it just started, you know what I mean? It started adding up. I started getting like so many of them. And so yeah, we got the toy line. And at that point, I think, you know, I'm sure Playmates had talked to Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird about, like, look, we need to market this to kids, so we got to tone it down. Like the comics. And it's so funny because the comics versus the cartoon is just such a drastic, you know. Yeah. So let's tone this down. Let's market it to kids. And, you know, there it was. There was our childhoods right there. But then wildly successful toy line, hugely successful cartoon, marketing galore. I mean, backpacks, fanny packs, sweaters, pajama outfits, video games, Nintendo. I mean, you name it. Turtle pies, everything. I mean, Turtles was everything and everywhere. And the marketing machine was just going hard on that. And then I mentioned earlier before the show started that we had to mention just because it was Ninja Turtles doesn't mean that it was always cool.
Oh God, no, it was.
And you know what I'm getting at. So when did it come out? When did this happen? You know what I'm getting ready to talk about.
Oh my! When did that come out?
Was it like 90, 91? I mean, maybe it was.
Let's see. 1990 was when the musical, an hour and 30 minutes.
God, an hour and 30 minutes too long. Okay. In 1990, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles went on tour to a coliseum or stadium near you.
Did you go?
I didn't go. Did you?
I didn't go either.
You didn't go? No, I didn't go. I don't know where it came. I read it might have came. I did. So they had a tour called the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, and this was an album of original songs written by this studio musician band, right? And they were all correlated with the Ninja Turtles, of course, but they went on tour, and it was people in suits, and there was a whole little storyline involved with it, and it was this massive stage production. And God, it was so corny. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life or heard.
Now hold up.
I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that the songs weren't well done, because for the time and what they were fine. Whatever.
Yeah, they were all very 80s songs. I mean, it's very 80s hip hop. I mean, it's very dated. But
it's very dated.
You're going on tour, Mr. Shepherd, with great songs such as Coming Out of Our Shells.
Sure.
Who can forget the absolute summer craziness when you're singing Tubin?
Tubin.
Or how about those Saturday nights when you and that special someone are sitting at the pizza parlor having pizza power?
Oh, man.
But it don't stop there, because in the 80s we're in war, and that's followed up by a song called No Treaties.
I remember No Treaties. Oh my God. Yeah.
May showers.
They were the
Flowers,
Ninja Turtles.
But it does bring April's Ballad.
Damn. They were like the Bruce Springsteen of 1990. They were like, yeah.
And you know they just got to sing about it. There.
Look, I told you I had a funny story to tell about that, and so I obviously bought the tape because if it was Ninja Turtles, I had to have it. I don't care what it was, how shameful it was, I had to have it. Right?
I have it on my phone right now.
You've got.
I have it on my phone right now. I will listen to it in the car on my way to work occasionally.
Oh my God.
Cowabunga is not bad. Out of all the songs, that's one of the better ones. But go ahead with your.
So when I was a kid, and this would have made me 10, which is probably too old to be doing this even at that point. I guess. But it's still a good story, so I'm going to tell it. Obviously, I'm still playing with toys. Obviously, I'm still into the Ninja Turtles.
Hold on. Who here watching live remembers this album? Type in the chat if you remember the Ninja Turtles album. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I had this school desk, and actually we got it from Peaks Mill somewhere, I think. But I had a school desk in my bedroom when I was a kid, and
go ahead. I'll be right back.
You're good. And I would set up my radio, my boombox, at the back of the desk, and I would play the Coming Out of Their Shells concert tour album on cassette, right? And I would take my Ninja Turtle figures and put them up and arrange them like they were on stage, like the desk was the stage and the radio was like their amplifiers or something, right? And I would act like they were in concert, and I would play with them like as they were making the tunes. So yeah, shameful, but that's being a kid, I guess. So Dwight, you just missed the whole story. As soon as I'm done talking, he's like, and I'm back.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. My daughter's in the other room coughing her head off, so I had to.
It's all good. I hope she feels better. Yeah, no. I mean, basically, long story short, the school desk, I had the radio set up on the back of the desk and acted like they were the amplifiers. And I had the Ninja Turtles toys in the front on the desk.
Oh, did your own little tour.
Did a tour. I played the concert Coming Out of the Shells tape and did my own concert. And yes, I am now embarrassed. So.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So, did you have Master Splinter singing Skipping Stones?
I did.
Yeah,
Sure, I did. Yeah.
Oh, I wish we would have had pre-show on recording because that was fantastic. That was some good barrel laughs.
Yeah.
Because these songs were so cheesy. The Walk Straight, No Need to Mutate.
No need to.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Cowabunga's got that classic kind of like an 80s rap vibe to it, you know, a little hip hop.
I don't remember that one.
But the chorus has just got that long Cowabunga, and that's
man, you held that note out.
Hilarious.
Oh God.
Skipping Stones is not as good as I remembered it being as a kid.
No, it's not.
I really thought I was like, ooh, yeah, this is good meditation and, you know, all in music. But now listen to it now. It's a hideous song. No Treaties isn't bad.
Mm-hmm. No, it's bad. It might not be as bad, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the rest of the album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll put that in occasionally. That and the Simpsons sing the blues.
Simpsons Sing the Blues. Yeah, we
Those,
talked
those are
about
some
that.
guilty pleasure
Yeah.
drive to work albums.
Yeah. Now I have the first and second movie soundtracks on cassette. I'm looking at them right now over there. Um, whatever. There's some jams on them. I don't care.
Well, not Ninja Turtle.
The
related, but we did bring
Bartman.
up The Simpsons.
Shane Horsley gonna come in with the Bartman. Let me tell you, 'cause Shane, we had talked. I'm pretty sure, Dwight, that we had talked about Simpsons Sing the Blues, right?
We did a few weeks ago.
Yes, dude. When I remember watching an episode of The Simpsons one night, and they were like, "Stay tuned after the episode because we're gonna debut the video for the Bartman." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I just can't wait." And I had to have it, right? So I took a radio and I held it up to the TV and I threw a blank tape in and recorded it. And it was like, so I had it. It was total shit quality, but I had it off the TV and I was like, yeah. And then my dad bought me the tape and I was like, yeah. It's so silly the things that we obsessed over as a kid that we just had to have, and we would do anything to obtain it, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's drugs, it's mental fish food that they're putting down for you.
Do you know that before I got the Ghostbusters movie soundtrack on tape, we went to school with a kid named Josh Kime. Do you remember Josh Kime?
I do, and I very often wonder and think about Josh and wonder whatever happened to him.
We were friends on Facebook for a while, but I can't find him anymore. I always loved Josh. He's a good guy, man. He lived out near us, and yeah.
Loved Mama's Family.
Did he love Mama?
Good show too. It's a fantastic show, but he loved that show.
That's crazy. I didn't know that he liked Mama's Family. No, that's a great show.
No, he really did.
Yeah. Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah,
great show. Josh had recorded me when the real Ghostbusters would end, and they would roll the end credits and they would play the music. He recorded me that and brought it into me on the tape, and I thought it was the nicest thing. And I was like, hell yeah, dude! Thanks.
Oh, that's fantastic. He could draw extremely.
Oh yeah, he was really great artist, and very good pianist, if I recall. Mm-hmm. He could play piano like a mug.
Yeah, he's probably fucking touring the world.
I guarantee he's like a virtuoso, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss old Josh, man. Obviously, like I said, I don't know what else you want to cover right now. So where we're at, we have pretty much, we pretty much stopped right before 1990. We hit 1990 with the Coming Out of the Shells tour. Then, one of the biggest thing, they redeemed themselves. Now, actually, I don't know if that came before or after the movie, but regardless, let's wipe Coming Out of the Shells from your minds and focus on the summer of 1990 when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, is released. And let me tell you, there have been a handful of times in my life where I've just been freaking batshit nutsoid to go to see a movie, right, at the movie theater, and that was certainly one of them. And my parents loaded us up in the car, and they were like, "We're taking you out to see Ninja Turtles." And I was like, "Ah!" And we went, and I had been collecting the trading cards already, from the movie. So I was kind of piecing together what was going on, but I was like, "Ugh." So we went, and man, let me just tell you, it blew my mind, and I couldn't believe, because at the time all I knew was the toys and the cartoon, right? So, and the games. The movie took a surprisingly dark turn because it was so true to the comic book source material, right? So, and that got me interested in the comics when I learned that, look, this is pretty much pulled off the pages of that first issue of the comic, man. That first movie still holds up today as one of my favorite movies of all time. Looking back, the costumes, the dialogue, the story, the way it was filmed, everything, it still holds up all these years later as a great movie to watch. And they have not done the movies that good since. Other than 2007, there was a movie called TMNT. It was all animated, but it was a great story, and it had that darker tone to it, and fit right along in there with the TMNT lore. But like, man, like, yeah, that first movie, you just can't beat it when it comes to turtle films. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I love the first film. I love which obviously we'll get into in a minute. Love the second film too.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
no,
it.
I
Yeah.
remember going to the theaters, getting to see that. I remember, we went to Brighton Park. It was Brighton Park had the movie theater. That's where I seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at.
I
And
saw mine in
those were the
Franklin
first
Square.
two
I do know
movies.
that.
Raphael cusses, and it's kind of like, oh, this is
Oh, I
different.
know. Like he says, "Damn!" Like, well, he says it like once when he runs into Casey, right? And then, but he says it. He says it at the beginning when he loses his side, and I was just like, when he said that, I was like, "Oh,
Right.
what? This is crazy! The turtles are cussing." Yeah, man,
I had no idea.
they're cussing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that movie was a huge hit. Immediately, they ordered a second one. They were like, part two, part two. So it came out that next summer. So summer '91. I mean, they wasted no time here. Like you're like, crank it out. Summer '91, Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and Ninja Rap was born.
I was
So
going to say, and another great soundtrack and some really
yeah,
90s vibes going on.
totally dated, but love it. Yeah, yeah. Ninja Rap is born. Vanilla Ice, crazy.
I got that on my phone as well.
Yeah, and I love how they tried to give us like, it's like we can't give you Rocksteady and Bebop, but we're going to give you Toka and Razar. We're going to give you two other dudes that we're just making up for the movie, which I'm glad they did because I think they're cool anyway. So
Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't big on the werewolf.
no,
Wasn't big on the werewolf. I liked the turtle. I thought the turtle was cool.
he's cool.
Love Shredder in
Shredder's
this
cool.
movie.
Super Shredder's cool,
Love
man.
Super
Yeah,
Shredder. And obviously, Super Shredder being Kevin Nash.
sure.
And so, some wrestling ties there, which are fantastic. A little New World Order action
There you
for Super Shredder. Uh,
go.
love the second movie too.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. They did tell him, you know what? We gotta tone down the violence from the first movie. It was too dark. It was too adult. Even though it was like wildly successful, it was like we got to tone it down. So like the turtles didn't really get to use their weapons in the second movie. So instead, like if you go back and watch it, yeah, they don't really use their weapons. Like
Interesting. I never noticed.
yeah, the opening fight in the mall at nighttime when they're like fighting those thieves or whatever in the stockings over their heads. Instead of nunchucks, like Michelangelo uses like sausage links. You know what I mean? And just stupid stuff like that. I mean, but they don't get to really use their weapons in the movie. But yeah, uh, cool little fact about the second movie is that Ernie Reyes Jr., who played Keno, Keno, the pizza guy, he is the guy that was in Donatello's suit in the first movie. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew
really?
that. Yeah, Ernie Reyes Jr. Yeah. So he was Donatello in the first movie in the suit, and then he became his own character in the second movie. But then, surely you know who voiced Donatello in the first movie.
I don't.
Oh, this is fun. I thought
Oh,
this was like
really?
common knowledge. It's Corey Feldman.
Oh, really?
It's Corey Feldman.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. Would have never. That was completely out of left field. I would have
Oh,
never
yeah.
thought that.
yep. So lay some on me. What you got?
Oh man,
cover-
I
we
don't
cover
have
the
much
movies.
outside of this now. At this point, we've had a lot of comic books. You get to this point in Ninja Turtle history, you're starting to see. I guess this is the time where the Ninja Turtle comics have become more relevant in my eyes. As I became a teenager and seeing more of the world open up like that, and you're getting into all these crossovers and these very, very interesting story arcs where the Ninja Turtles are in various worlds and in very realistic situations,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was cool. And one of the ones that I think I like the most is the crossover with the X-Files.
No, I did not. I was not aware of that.
So they crossed over with the X-Files, and you never see Scully and Mulder in this episode. Well, you do, but they're not. They never interact with the Ninja Turtles. This is the lone gunman, and they had some comic series where they were looking into various mysterious things, and one of the ones they get into is meeting with the Ninja Turtles. So a very, very interesting subject there, but Scully and Mulder were out hunting vampires.
That's they would.
So yeah, so they were probably over in, I guess a lot of vampires in your history, is probably in the European area. But I always thought it was weird, Jason. You never seen, vampires are killed by garlic, steaks, holy water, all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Culturally worldwide, but you never really ever heard of any vampires in Africa.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah, no, you know why you never hear of vampires in Africa?
Oh, are you going to come with a joke? You're going to come
God
with
bless the rains down in Africa.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Hey,
I mean,
it was a really good setup.
It was good, but here's
I
the
had
thing.
to take that through an X-Files crossover, specifically get the fact that Mulder and Scully were out hunting vampires to get to that joke.
I'm just glad that you knew the actual lyrics to Africa instead of "I miss the rains down," because it's like some people say that's not it. That's not the lyrics, and I'm one of those like lyric jerks, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what he says, but sure,
But you know
that's
what,
not what
though?
he says.
In all seriousness, you know what? One thing I would like to do.
What?
I would like to see a choir of 99 men sing Africa, because it's something 100 men or more would never do.
Guys, tune in next week. I'm out of here. No, I'm kidding. That was good. That was good. I like that.
I thought
That was good. That was one of your best, and they've all been pretty all right, but like that was good.
All right, so so out of there, I don't have really any tie-in with the Ninja Turtles in Africa itself. I'm sure they probably have, though.
Yeah, they've probably been out there.
They've also other notable things that they've tied into, and I thought this was really cool because I didn't realize this was a tie-in. You remember the rabbit?
Oh, Usagi Yojimbo. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you know that was a whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue. I had no clue until this afternoon.
Well, that was like its whole. Yeah.
Yeah. So
comic
that
thing.
crossover, he got so intertwined with
He
the
did.
Ninja Turtles.
He did.
Was wound up being in cartoons, toys, all kinds of stuff.
Comics, everything. Yeah. Let me ask you this. I feel like somewhere in my mind, and maybe I made this up, but if it happened, it would make total sense. Like I can be like, oh, yeah, of course he did. Did the Toxic Avenger from Troma end up crossing over with them at some point?
No, that was Muckman.
Okay, I know Muckman.
So
I know
it wasn't-
Muckman. But I feel like there was a crossover. I could be totally wrong. But it would just make sense. I mean, he's in New Jersey. The Turtles are in New York. They're both slimy, sludgy things and mutant freaks. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe it happened, but maybe I just made it up. And if not, why hasn't that happened yet?
Yeah, no, that totally should happen. I don't see it on here, but there is a lot of fan fiction that has explored this crossover.
Well, I've got like a couple ends with Troma since I've done some work for them. So maybe I need to guys, can you make this happen? Or yeah.
Dude, you know what would be sweet? They do
What?
a crossover, and you got to illustrate the comic.
Dude, I would
That
be
would be
on
fun,
that.
badass.
I would be on that. Yeah.
So, a couple notable crossovers. Do you remember the Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
I remember it. I never watched it.
Yeah, I did.
And I
didn't
never
watch
had
it.
any of the
I remember
toys.
like cows being dressed in, you know, like a shirt
Cowboys.
and all that.
Sure.
And so they crossed over with them.
Okay. Which is we gotta mention that like stuff like Cowboys of Moon Mesa and like Biker Mice from Mars. All of this was influenced by Ninja Turtles. It's like, what stupid title can we throw on with an animal?
Well, these were the reasons.
Something mice from yeah, that works. Mars. Cool.
I mean,
Teenage
the Ninja
Mutant
Turtles are why we got that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's all the turtles are all responsible for this, but they, yeah, God. Quick note of mention. And I know you know this, but in Europe and over in the UK, they weren't called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because they thought the word ninja just implied way too much violence. And
oh, really?
Yeah, Hero Turtles is what they were called over there. So, yeah.
So, check this out. Now that you mentioned the whole ninja thing there, I got a couple of ninja facts.
Oh, I love ninjas, and I love facts, about ninjas.
This
Hit me
is
with
on Ninja Facts, and it's got the turtles on
Oh,
there.
is there an app called Ninja Facts?
No, this is on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, I need to download like Ninja Facts real quick. Check the Ninja Facts.
The first ninja ever was Yamato Takeru. He was 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
Pretty interesting.
Now, I know that I think I've read this. I bet your next fact, I'm not looking at it on my phone. As you can see, I'm looking at Facebook. I'm watching our Facebook Live on my phone, on Facebook Live. It's so meta. You know what?
We're very meta.
You know, we're so meta. We live in the metaverse before the metaverse was created. They carried crickets in their pockets to disguise the sound of them creeping and stalking around.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's like such a ninja thing to do, man.
Right. That's the coolest one. They traditionally wore black. They wore navy blue, not black.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes a little more sense. That probably blends in better.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of women ninjas. They're a progressive guild. Ninjas were a progressive guild. They allowed women in their ranks long before we probably even allowed women to vote.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
Way ahead of the times.
Yeah, they were. You know, it might be a good time now, since you were talking about it, to mention that like ninjas were wildly popular in the 80s. Like it was ninja this, it was ninja that. It was like ninja video games, Chuck Norris movies, American Ninja, which I fucking love. American Ninja. Like, have you seen American Ninja? Have you seen the American Ninja movies? That's top notch, primo entertainment, man. Like, you could
Karate
get
Kid.
in, huh?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid, but I mean, he wasn't a ninja. That was karate. Yeah, but karate was huge in the 80s too. I took karate because of the Karate Kid when I was in Peaks Mill.
Most of the people in Kentucky be like, oh yeah, ninja karate, same thing.
Oh, same thing, man. Hey, man, you know ninjutsu? I'll whoop your ass, boy. Come on. Yeah, you're right. But like, no, ninjas were so huge in the 80s, and I love the ninja craze of the 80s. There were so many cool ninja movies, and there was one I have to mention. So there is a movie starring Sho Kosugi, and it's called Revenge of the Ninja, and it's made by Canon Films. Canon Films is the group that did like, they did the American Ninja movies, but they also did like the Masters of the Universe movie. They did Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. They did these really like low budget movies, but they just had this thing about them. Revenge of the Ninja is so over the top and crazy. It's like absurd ninja movie, right? There's a scene towards the end where he's in this office building, and he's like going through the bad guys and like trying to make it to the rooftop to take down the main guy. But like he runs into this dude in the hallway, and like he runs into this like gangster dude in the hallway, and he like pulls his mask off and spits on him. And he's got a mouthful of ninja stars, and there's like 20 ninja stars in his mouth apparently, right? But you would have never known it by looking at him. And they all go into this dude's face, and he's like, oh! I'm like, fucking ninja movies. 80s ninja movies, man. It's absurd.
Oh.
Have you ever tried to put like 20 ninja stars in your mouth?
Can't say that I have.
Doesn't feel good.
Now, I have put probably at least 20 stars from like the pasta Ninja Turtles. They had ninja stars in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did have ninja.
Yeah, I
Turtle
probably
pasta.
fit about 20 or so in there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I've eaten ninja stars. Live to tell.
You're a
about it.
ninja. You are a ninja.
Well, obviously. I'm
Obviously.
dressed in black.
See, that's so cool, dude.
So now you don't really see me.
Oh my God, you are so
Stealthy.
mysterious and
Like an elephant on
intriguing.
dry
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I bet you got crickets in your pocket, don't you?
I do not. I hate crickets.
Hear them over like.
Oh, God. Cricket gets in the house. It's the worst thing ever. I can sleep through almost anything. Tornado could come right by the house. I wouldn't wake up.
Yeah, I don't like them.
One cricket on the opposite end of the house.
Yeah.
Would drive me crazy.
Yeah. I ain't got no use for a cricket, man. That's on the real.
Was there a cricket that ever got mutated in Ninja Turtles?
You know, I'm looking at him now. There was like I don't know what his name is, but he's like an insect.
Oh, you're
He's like a
Is it
he's
like
like
a scoff bug or something?
He's like a cockroach or a cricket or something. I don't know. I don't know what he is. What are you, dude? I can't tell. Yeah, I don't know.
There was something, I don't remember his name, but it's like scoff bug or something, and he was like a little obviously.
Scumbug.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know what he was. Yeah.
Who's your favorite portrayal of Baxter Stockman? Which version of Baxter Stockman do you like?
Well, I don't know. I've only seen him in the cartoon and the comic book, the original, in 1984 comic. He was in that second Michael Bay movie, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, I never saw it, so I don't know. What else have I seen? I don't know. Cartoon. I don't know. I guess well, he was a black guy in the original comic, and then they whitewashed him out for the cartoon.
Right.
And then
nerdy redheaded guy with glasses.
Yeah.
It's like Chucky off of Rugrats.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Didn't they kind of keep him more true to the comic in the Michael Bay movie?
They did.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now, that's my favorite portrayal of Baxter Stockman.
Really?
Is by Tyler Perry.
It was Tyler Perry. That's right. Yeah.
He does a
great
job in that movie. I didn't think about you hadn't seen it.
If you look at that original comic, like Tyler Perry was kind of like perfectly cast for that, wasn't he? I mean,
yeah.
I forgot that he was that. Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to be said. Now, have you not seen either?
Oh, no, I went to the theater and saw that first one, and then I came out of it and I was like, I love this. This was so good. And then I started thinking about it more, and then I watched it again. I was like, oh, damn, this like really wasn't so good. And it wasn't good. I didn't like, and I couldn't, and I'll tell you what, the more I look at it, like, I appreciated what they tried to do, I guess. I really don't like the way the Turtles look in that movie. Yeah. And odd as Shredder was in that movie, I thought he was kind of cool. And he's kind of this big cyborg at the end, right? But I mean, like, that was kind of cool, even though it was like, eh. But I mean, like, I don't know. I couldn't get past. I had no problem with Megan Fox. I know people like kind of rag on her for whatever reason. I didn't have a problem with her as April. And who's the guy? Any other day, I would have been able to tell you this guy's name. That played Vern, her co-anchor.
Oh, yeah, no, he's perfect.
He was so perfectly like. If there was an actor that was going to play him, it was him. Like he did so good. I'm glad
Will Arnett.
Well, it's Will Arnett. Yeah, Will Arnett.
Some Joe Schmo.
But No, I mean it was cool, and then wasn't there a fight? Wasn't there a fight scene where Shredder gets down into the sewer when Splinter's by himself, and they have that fight scene
I haven't seen the first
where
one.
he
I've
gets
seen
the
the sequel.
Splinter? Oh, you haven't seen that? Oh, yeah, no. The first one I thought was, I don't know. I left the theater and I was hype about it, but then I was also hype about The Last Jedi when I left the theater, and then I was like, yeah, so. You give time.
Yeah,
you give things time to marinate, and it's like, what was I thinking? But
the initial thought on, and now most people have told me that the first Michael Bay film is better than Out of the Shadows. I had a hard time getting over the way the turtles looked, and then after
sorry, I'm like
I was
hurting.
like, yeah, I'm not gonna let Michael Bay do this to another franchise and watch it.
They look terrible.
If it wasn't for the way they looked, the second movie was really good, and there were a lot of things that were very true to the cartoon. Because
cool.
This was the one, Krang was in this
You
one.
got Krang. You finally got Krang.
He was the right demeanor. The body was pretty cartoon, realistic.
I actually no shit. I actually did. Sorry, I just knocked a bunch of toys off the shelf. When that movie came out, even though I didn't see it, I did buy one toy from. I bought it at Meijer or Target. I think it was Meijer. I did buy one toy from the movie, and it was that Krang. And he is pretty cool looking. I mean, it's just kind of true to the cartoon, right? Like you said.
Yeah, it's.
And you can take his little ass out of his stomach.
Live action.
Take his little ass out of his stomach, and you can kind of put him on your finger and act like a little finger puppet.
Now insert Elon Musk's head in
the
center of
exactly.
I did so I totally expect this to be this dude. This totally needs to be something you draw.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. To do it.
I can do that.
So
and I'll get a print made for you. You got to display it.
Yes, yeah, I want it signed and everything, and I
will
put it right back. I'm getting ready to redesign the wall behind me.
Cool.
So I'll find a spot for it.
Yep.
The way they did the Technodrome was really cool.
Oh, they had that. The Technodrome was part of it too.
Yeah, he's trying to bring it over. So it was very Krang-centric storyline from the cartoons.
That's cool.
And he's trying to bring it over. And obviously you can't just drive the big motherfucker through a portal.
You
have to do it one fucking piece at a time.
You just said fuck like 2 times within 10 seconds. And I'm really impressed because you never cuss on here. So I'm just like really happy for you.
No, it's 10:47 and
fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm
going to lose art fans now. They're like, he cusses.
One little piece at a time. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. Of course, it had Rocksteady and Bebop.
Right.
Which was cool because it's about damn time that they made it into
live
action.
Right.
They were cast good. The cast was good with it. Baxter Stockman's in there. You had some Mousers. Yeah, I had no problem with the Michael Bay movie in the end. I should probably go back and watch the first one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you can get past the way they looked, it was fine, I guess.
So, getting through that, we got a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff. Some really cool looking toys. Have you seen some of the new toys they've just launched?
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I don't like the way. Now, to be fair, I've never watched it. But that new cartoon series, is that on Nickelodeon? Like the newer cartoon series?
I'm assuming so. I don't watch.
Where they've made everything.
Ava likes Donatello, but she doesn't watch Ninja Turtles very often.
Okay.
That was one of the first things I bought her was a Donatello stuffed animal.
Oh.
She'll watch the Ninja Turtles channel on Pluto.
Yes.
And it runs through all of them, original and new.
Does it really?
And so she'll watch that. And I've caught some of the episodes, and they're not bad. I have a hard time with, again, I'm just stuck with the way that I think they should look versus the way people interpret the way they look now. I have a hard time with a lot of the art style in cartoons nowadays.
Yes, I do have a problem. Like I said, who am I to judge what an art style looks like? But I don't like it. That's not how I prefer my turtle. I like my turtles kind of dark and gritty
I like
and
them
adult
round,
like.
not square.
Exactly. And like I said, I've never watched it, but I remember reading that like they made Splinter this like comedic Elvis impersonator type freaking character, and he's not like that wise mentor. And I'm like, is it really like? I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
said,
I
I
have.
haven't watched it, but I
I've
don't
not
think it's
seen
for
it.
me. It's not for me, and that's fine. Like not everything has to be for us, right? Like you can introduce new generations to things, but it's just like I don't know. That's we'll go pass on that one. So yeah,
So,
but
so here we are, 2023.
yeah,
Another Ninja Turtle movie coming out.
yeah.
Cast looks good. Animated, right? This is animated, right? Surely this is an animated film.
I'm gonna assume so. Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll go in under that. Good voice actors, from what I've seen. And Seth Rogen, you can't. I mean, he's going to be similar age, so his Ninja Turtles are very similar to ours and early comics. Uh, I'm assuming it's probably going to be somewhat kid friendly. So
it'll be
yeah,
like
I'm excited about
smoking
that.
weed. If it's Seth Rogen, he's gonna have him like chiefing up, smoking marijuana,
Yeah, and I'd be all right with that. I
partaking in
mean,
reefer. Is what I'm saying.
you would think Michelangelo at least does.
You would think.
I'm pretty sure Raphael does too. Your holdouts are Donatello and Leonardo, but
Hmm.
even Donnie might. Leo does not.
Donnie might like just show him who the real Puff Daddy is, and then
He
go
might
get in
do
the
that,
lab
then
and build like a new like.
lower his glasses and shit.
Yeah, he might build something crazy after that. I don't know. Yeah, so that's. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it'll be cool. Always down to see a new reiteration of the turtles, and hopefully it's something cool. But also now, before I get to a current running comic that's going on, did you have anything else to add, or
No,
did you
no,
want to mention it?
I am out, but I'm very, very interested to hear the current news because this is one that I'm actually very, very interested in.
Oh, okay, well, there is a kind. I guess it's been running for a couple of years now. I guess there is a comic series. I believe IDW is publishing it, and of course Kevin Eastman got his hands all in it. So it's nice to see the original creator like still being a part of this. And but it's called The Last Ronin, and I've not read it, but it is essentially uh, the future story of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and um, they all die except one. They all die except one, and I know who the surviving turtle is. Do you?
I had an idea, but now I don't think I don't know that I do after the pictures I've seen today.
Okay, there is one surviving turtle who pretty much picks up a big trail of vengeance after his three brothers are dead, and you do see their death scenes in the comics, and he obtains their weapons and goes on about his life and his journey. Of course, Splinter's gone. I think April. There's a lot. I haven't read it, but I know stuff about it. Not going to spoil it or say anything much about it. Who do you think the remaining turtle is? I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or wrong.
I had originally thought that I'd seen was Donatello.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. So.
So the reason that I'm thrown off though now is because when I seen the one that's going around now, I guess a new episode or a new issue dropped, and I swear when it shows the three other spirits back there, one of them has a staff. and one of them has Saz, and one of them has a sword. And so I'm like, well, I didn't think that he was the one who survived because I.
So you're saying you think Michelangelo survived? Is what you're saying?
Looking at the thing I seen today, yeah. Unless they're trying to, I thought they told you, and I thought I was correct.
Well, I think the reason I know is because they finally came out and revealed who that surviving turtle was. But I know for a fact who it is, and I'm just not going to tell you if you're right or wrong, because I don't like to spoil things for people. So,
all right, well, we'll save that for when we're off the air.
Well, I'm not even going to tell you then because I want you. If you're interested in reading it, I want you to read it. I mean,
I ain't gonna read this.
You're not gonna read it, all right?
No, dude. I got the 5-book arc of the Ghostbusters Ninja Turtles, and I can't even sit down and read that.
Okay, yeah.
And if I'm going to read anything, that's going to be my priority. Because did you know there's a scene in there where Donatello is talking to Egon, and Egon looks, or they're trying to explain this infection thing they see, and he's like, "Oh, it's like," Donatello tells Egon, "It's like a parasite, like a giant bug. It's probably an alien." Egon's like, "Aliens don't exist." Donatello looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, I know we hunt ghosts."
Awesome.
But yeah, that's going to be on my top priority list. But I do want to read the Ronin. If you think it's going to be that big, then I won't.
Well, I just don't.
Did they play it out? Did they like pull it out? Is it like a mystery through the whole book?
I think they got to pull out for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a couple issues, and then I think you find out. I'm not, like I said, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'll just look up spoilers later.
I'll tell you after we hang up here.
All right.
You know.
So that's about all I got for Ninja Turtles. You got anything else to lay down?
No, just I love it. Always loved it, and I mean, it's influenced me as an artist. It's influenced me as an artist. It's also influenced me as an artist, and it's influenced me as an artist. So yeah, I love it. I love Kevin Eastman. I think he seems like such a cool guy, and I love his style. I love his approach. I love how he was somebody like me who was just an illustrator that wanted to do what he wanted to do and took a chance and took some tax return money and built an empire for himself off of these zany, wacky ass characters that like really, I don't know if it hit at the right time or what, but like he took a chance on something absolutely crazy and made a fortune and a life out of it, and something that we all just hold near and dear to our hearts. So yeah. Do you
have Steam?
Oh, I did have it, but I it was taking up too much room on my laptop, so I deleted it.
Shredder's Revenge game?
I haven't played the Shredder's Revenge game. No, it looks super cool though.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You got it.
Cool to be Master Splinter.
Yeah, you could be Casey. You could be April.
Yeah, me and Ava's played through a little bit of it. We've made it through 3 or 4 levels, and it's really good.
Yeah.
No, if you ever got the chance and the manpower, that's something you should do. You should pick it up.
Okay.
Because you can play online across Steam.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
And therefore, we could theoretically play said Ninja Turtles game.
Okay.
On a future episode and or live stream.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
You could also, just throwing this out here, there's also a really badass Ghostbusters game.
Oh, you're talking about Spirits Unleashed? Yeah.
Yeah. They just released a bunch of real Ghostbusters.
I saw that. So have you been playing it, or are you just kind of still sitting on it?
I've played a little bit. I've not actually done any matches because I've not sat down to play it, but I've put it on and like went through the tutorial and stuff. Designed my character because obviously I had to put the Egon Spangler RBG outfit on.
Yeah.
So, but awesome. Outside of that, I ain't got nothing else Ninja Turtle related.
I got nothing. I think we covered a lot of ground. I mean,
what's that?
We covered a lot of ground. We talked about a lot.
We did.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, 84 to technically 83.
Mm-hmm.
Our Wayback Machine went way back because the 80s are now way back.
God, and we're both very old, so
Yes, yes, plenty of no hair, and what is up there is
plenty of
gray.
crazy full hair. Heck yeah, Pantene Plus, baby. Freaking herbal essences. I'll be in the shower moaning like, ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm just lucky to like I get like a little bitty drop on my pinky, and I can like wash
You
my
know,
hair.
women, bald is sexy, man. Bald is sexy.
My wife enjoys the shaved head versus having hair.
There you go. That's
Uh,
all that matters. That's
she likes the goatee better than not goateed because I look older, and
you
I
are
guess
very
age does me
distinguished.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very distinguished.
yeah.
Always dreamed I would have the little lines like Doctor Strange
Oh, okay,
going down
yeah.
the side of
I
my head.
actually do have. If I know you can't see him right now, I got headphones on and stuff. Dude, I've got that gray hair. If I lift my hair up under here, it's all gray going back. And I'm like, sheesh, big Doctor Strange. Like, but then
I
the
thought
rest of my hair
about
is like
growing it
brown.
out for like one last run.
Yeah,
You know, one
yeah.
last hurrah.
You
But
might as well, man. Midlife
yeah,
crisis.
then I got to pay for haircuts.
Oh, that's true.
Right
Yeah,
now, I do it myself.
yeah,
Don't have to worry about that. Save money.
yeah.
I mean, a haircut used to be $20.
They
Like
are now
$30
still.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you go to a good old Supercuts and get one for about 16.
okay. Well, so haircuts didn't go up.
No, they're still. Yeah.
Anyways, you can find Jason Shepard at Jason Shepard Artworks with a X, big old X. So make sure you check him out there. All that's going to be in the description below. You can catch me at Powerbomb Nation on Twitter, Powerbomb Nation on anything else. The Culture Cast is a Powerbomb Nation production brought to you by Powerbomb Digital. And for the one and only Jason Shepard, I'm Dwight Couch. Peace until next time, whenever that is.
It'll be soon.